So there's the new Instapot with the lid removed. The control panel on the front, there's a whole bunch of preset programs, and you can change whether it shows degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, all that kind of stuff. It comes with the stainless steel inner pot, which has a concave base, presumably so that when it pressurizes it doesn't become round and rock around. There's the lid, fully removable and disassemblable. It's dishwasher safe. You can submerge the whole thing for cleaning. Apparently here you've got the float valve with the seal for the bottom. That's the seal for the lid. That's the swiveling thing, and that's a shield to stop the food from blocking the steam valve when you do the quick pressure release. That's what this is. When you press this, it's a quick release to let the pressure out faster. When you turn it, then it goes back to natural release. And the accessories that came with it, there's a couple of spoons, silicone mitts, partial mitts for grabbing the pot with. There's a steam rack and a measuring cup. So the lid goes together basically like this. You put that drops in there, and then you hold it in and put the seal on the bottom like that. So that's the indicator to tell you when it's pressurized or safe to open. And this shield just clips on here like that, and the seal goes inside behind this ring here. And just stick it in. It came with a spare seal too, actually. So this is a wear item that you do have to keep an eye on and replace once in a while. So it has to be properly seated behind the rail, and then it's ready to go. That thing just sits on here. So that's the equivalent of the swinging thing that used to be in the center on the old ones. So you can quick release like that and stop the quick release like that. So we're going to put 3 cups of water in. This is the test run that they tell you to do in the book before you use it the first time. So we're just going to do it with water. And then the lid. Also, by the way, there's a condensation catcher here. You just pull it out. It's a little cup that hangs there to catch the condensation that drips off it as it cooks. It actually makes tones to tell you when it's open or closed, as you may have heard. So now the book says put it on, use the Pressure Cook Smart program, override the time to 5 minutes. It defaults to 10. You can override it to 5. After 10 seconds it should display on. It's going to start preheating. There we go. So it's going to use the high pressure setting by default. You could use pressure level to change that. The keep warm feature is on by default, which means after the cycle's over, it will keep it warm, kind of like the slow cooker does. And the countdown timer only starts after it reaches the set temperature, so it's preheating right now. We'll see the counter go down once it starts cooking for real. And when it's finished, the display shows end. And then we're going to try the quick release to vent the steam. So now it went silent because the pressure valve here, that silver thing, just popped up. So there's no more steam escaping right now. And the lid is now tight because it's under pressure, so it won't, you can't move it at all now. There we go. So the preheat is done. Now it's actually cooking. Okay, so that's it. It does not display end because the keep warm feature is activated. I guess if you turn that off, you can't now, but if you do cancel, then it's done. So you're supposed to be able to do the quick release now to open it sooner, but they do tell you that certain kinds of food you cook, you have to use natural release, where you let the pressure come down on its own, and that can take half an hour or more depending on how much you've got in there. Incidentally, the saute button here is a feature where you can use it to brown your meat without the lid on. If you want to make stew and you want to brown the meat, you can stir fry it in there to brown it a bit first, and then add the other stuff and put it in pressure cook mode. So that's kind of cool too. And sous vide over here, I had no idea what that was. Apparently that's when you put food in sealed plastic bags and submerge it in water and basically boil it. It's kind of like poaching, I suppose. Anyway, they say you're supposed to be able to just press this button down and release the pressure quickly, and they say it can be loud. There we go. And when the silver thing pops down, then it's safe to open. There. So that should be okay now. It wasn't actually that loud. The lid is loose, so the fact that you can turn it tells you that there's not much, and you hear a jingle when it's in the open position. So that's basically it. So another thing that's cool about the Instapot is the way they made the lid with these tabs here. They're made to fit inside the slots over here on the handles. So you can stand the lid up like that without having to set it down on the counter. And you're also not forced to work with a hinge on the lid. So you can take the lid right off for easy cleaning. You can even put it in the dishwasher. So I think that's pretty clever.